You know what, Sam?
What?
Why are we even talking about these games? They're meaningless.
Yeah, they kind of are. Yeah, Sam, all we're doing is just playing out the string. That's it. With especially these last two games. I just saw someone call the Hurricanes recently, especially after the Ottawa game. No, sorry, not Ottawa. Montreal game, saying it's the Carolina Wolf Wolvercanes.
Oh, yeah. After we saw a bunch of those,
Prospects. Yeah.
yes.
But
That was pretty cool, though.
yeah, it was cool, and we will recap the two games, even though they are meaningless. But Sam, playoffs are just around the corner, and it is just the right time to use what code?
Promo code Caniac Report for SeatGeek. Look, if you are trying to go see the Carolina Hurricanes take on the New Jersey Devils in the Stanley Cup Eastern Conference quarterfinals, then yeah, you got to use promo code Caniac Report, get $20 off your first purchase, and go watch the Hurricanes do what they do best and beat Eric Holla in the Stanley Cup playoffs, because Carolina is undefeated against Eric Holla, and I expect that to continue this year. Yes, but you know what? Even if you're just getting into hockey, not the biggest fan of hockey, or you're just kind of hockey curious, as we like to call you, and you're listening to this, well, guess what? You stumbled on a way to get yourself some cheap tickets to baseball, to concerts, comedy shows, whatever you want to do. Use our promo code Caniac Report on SeatGeek, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. It doesn't matter if you're a sports fan or not. We're here to help you save money. And like I've always said before, why would you want to leave free money on the table?
Exactly. And we also have a link for donations. So if you feel like you want to donate, there is a link to that in both our YouTube description and wherever you get your podcast. And also, remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. And if you're listening to us wherever you get it, like Apple, Spotify, whatever you listen to through, and be sure to give us a rating and a review and also subscribe because it really does help us out. And another thing, too, this is not our fault. This is the NHL's fault because we were planning on doing a live stream and we
Yes.
still are.
Yes.
But the NHL kept delaying the playoff schedule because the live stream is going to be a preview of the first round between the Hurricanes and the Devils. And it's going to be tomorrow as this episode is released. We will post it on our socials
Yes.
tomorrow and Saturday morning.
Yes.
So be sure to follow that. And if you're listening to us, please be sure to
What time
join
do we
us.
want to do it, Sam? Do we want to go noon sharp?
I like noon sharp.
Noon sharp. Go for about same normal time as the episode. An hour max?
An hour max.
An hour max. If you got an hour, from noon to 1, we'll be live-ish. Maybe end a little bit early. 12:30, 12:45. No more than an hour.
Yes,
Maybe we'll
and
have some
I
guests.
already made a preview type of things between us and the Devils with some interesting players and stats and all that stuff. So it's going to be fun. Who knows? We might have guests, right, Sam?
That's definitely possible. I'm taking a look. I'm going to ask some people if they want to join us. Maybe some friends, some hockey friends, and we'll go from there.
Yes, but we know this is last minute, but it's the NHL's fault, not ours, for not releasing the schedule until the pretty much the last minute. But whatever. But I think it's going to be fun. We don't normally do live streams. I think the last one that we did was the home opener, I believe, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, we like to save them for special occasions.
Yes, we definitely do. So please join us. It's going to be on YouTube. Um, I believe you can watch us on X2. I'm going to be sure every social media outlet does is compatible with the live stream. So hopefully that works.
Yep.
And so
If not,
I am
you
looking
can
forward to it.
watch us on YouTube.
Yes, you can. And if you are watching us, remember, cover up Sam Driscoll's face like I am doing right now, and
No,
just
no.
watch me.
Everybody, Sam, there's only been evidence of people covering you up, so they're not.
No, 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 don't give me that, Sam.
I'm the better Sam. It's fine. It's fine. I'm the huge Caniac.
I'm the better Sam. All right. Well, Sam, quite a few things have actually happened around the league.
Yeah.
One of them is a player. I remember when he was nominated for Rookie of the Year against Jeff Skinner and Michael Grabner. But Logan Couture from the San Jose Sharks retires from uh, a injury, and I believe it was inflammation of one of his joints. So because of that, he decided to retire. Sam, this is a longtime Sharks player who has played very good, I would say, throughout his entire career. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he was. I mean, if you remember, it was him, it was Logan Couture, Jeff Skinner, and one other rookie who were the finalists for the Calder that year to be the Rookie of the Year. Jeff Skinner ended up winning that trophy,
Yep.
but those were the guys that were in competition. So Logan Couture has been around for a while. Great player, really one of the best players the Sharks have had since that time. And I'm sad to see him go out on those terms because I think he deserved better.
I do too. I really do. Sam, the other rookie's name that competed was Michael Grabner from the Islanders, if you remember him.
Yeah, Grabner, that's right. Yep, yep, yep.
Yep, I remember watching the award show just for that one nomination for the Hurricanes. But another thing too, Sam, and we kind of helped them along here. But Montreal has officially clinched the playoffs, and it's their first time since 2021. So it's been quite a few years, Sam, but they've done a pretty good job of retooling, or I guess you could say rebuild. But regardless, I think they have a great head coach in Martin St. Louis.
Yes.
They have great youth of players in Nick Suzuki,
Yes.
Caden Gooley on the back end, who had 2 goals against us. But they have a good core, and congrats to them for making the playoffs. I know you're probably hoping for Columbus to make the playoffs, Sam.
I like
Since
both teams making the playoffs. To be honest with you, Montreal and Columbus, I like both. Montreal is a heck of a playoff city. Heck of a playoff
it
city.
is.
I was watching some highlights from the last times they were in the playoffs when fans were allowed, by the way, because the last times they made it, fans weren't allowed in the playoff, weren't allowed in the stands because it was during COVID. So this is really the first one that they're going to have, and that building gets allowed. And I love good playoff buildings that aren't named the Rangers, the Devils, or the Bruins.
Yeah. Uh, and Washington. I don't like Washington, but that's a whole nother day. And another thing too, Sam, is neat. Well, actually, you know what? I want to get this out of the way with if you wanted to talk about this, Sam. But it does involve the Rangers.
Yes.
It involves a certain player in Panarin and MSG Sports, which owns the New York Rangers.
Yep.
And something happened. I don't know how big this is going to be. I honestly don't. But they paid settlements to a former employee
Yep.
who alleged sexual assault.
Yep. Mm-hmm. They allege sexual assault against Artemi Panarin. This was an article put out by the Athletic, so it's not like this is a non-credible source that's putting
Yep.
this article out. They are owned by the New York Times, another credible source. So this isn't coming out of like some tabloid, right? This is like a legitimate reputable news source is putting this out. Whether it's true or not needs to be going through a absolute investigation. But they also settled, so I don't know what comes of this. I think it's a bad look. Look, I'll
I
take
do
every
too.
opportunity I can to absolutely trash the New York Rangers because I think they are
Which,
a
which is
poverty franchise, god awful people who run it, god awful organization, god awful fans. They can all go to he double hockey sticks. I hate the Rangers. They're just this is just a reality that I think the Rangers are going to start to face this season. Is I think they were on the management has screwed them. Management
Mhm.
has them again because this is going to hurt them getting players coming to the organization. In my mind, you're not gonna want to go to an organization that tried to hide something like that. This what happened in Chicago. We've already seen this happen. It's not a good look.
No, it
And
really isn't.
I mean, we'll just have to wait and see kind of the repercussions. I don't think they're good.
No, I
This
don't
is
think
but
it's good either,
this is
regardless
a
of how
long list
big
of
it gets.
problems, though.
Yeah.
But there's also a long list of issues that the Rangers have had. I hate Jacob Trouba, but they treated their captain like garbage. They treated Kreider like garbage. They've treated Calvin DeHaan like garbage. They
Yep.
traded
Hmm.
Capo Caco like garbage. They treated, I think it was Barclay Goodrow like garbage. They're treating these players really badly. They're going out and telling people how bad they were treated, and it's getting out. You cannot sign, you will not be able to sign free agents. It doesn't matter if you're New York. Believe it or not, New York's a really crappy city to live in. I don't know if you've been there lately, but it's a garbage dump. Nobody wants to live in New York City. That's why everyone's leaving. No one's going there. Look, it's a great franchise. It's an old franchise, isn't it? It's an original six franchise.
Yes,
To
it
say you
is.
played for the New York Rangers is like a badge to put on. And I'm not going to deny that. That is how a lot of players look at it. But you're not going to be able to get them. They might be like, is that badge worth the drama that's going to come with it? I might get treated poorly. Why do I want to go to a big market with all the pressure? Plus, management's going to treat me really bad. Is it going to be worth your time? Is it going to be worth the baggage that comes with going to New York? And I think right now for players like just as examples of Sam Bennett, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, it's like okay, those are three big players that could be free agents. Why would you go to New York if you could go to stay in Toronto, stay in Florida, come to Carolina, go to Colorado, go to Dallas. These are all playoff teams. Why would you want to go to an organization that has a history of now treating not just any player, but their
Yeah.
captain poorly and then hiding misconduct by a player? Now, maybe if you're a player who's making mistakes and you want to be protected, I don't know, maybe that's the place to go. But I'm just saying, it's not a good look, piled on top of a whole bunch of other bad looks. New York Rangers are run very poorly, and I think it's a shame because Chris Drury was a heck of a hockey player, but he's not a good general manager, and it's really starting to show that if I had my way, if I was the ownership, I would fire him. I don't think it's Laviolette's fault. Maybe for players like Capo Caco and how they were treated, maybe, but if you want to put the blame on the coach and fire him, okay, Laviolette will get another job somewhere else, but it's not on him. It's just
Yeah.
not.
I do agree. It's on Drury, and it shows. It doesn't matter how big the market is or how much history the market has, because obviously, like you said, it's a original six team. What matters the most to these players is how you are treated, and the Rangers have been treating their players, I would argue, very, very poorly. Something both Sam and I do agree.
Yeah.
Well,
And that matters though. Like it
it
matters
does
how you
matter.
treat players. I mean, like I think it matters. Like if you look at how Carolina just treated Alexander Nikishin, we sent people to him to help him get over here. Right? We're not treating Jordan Stahl wrong. The Hurricanes have every right to treat Brent Burns poorly. Bench him, not let him play, end his Ironman streak because he has not been good. The organization has the right to do that because he's not played well. But you know what they're not going to do? Because we had a player in Rob Brindamore who was treated poorly when he got older. We have an
Yep.
organization
Hmm.
that understands what that is. As much as us Hurricanes fans might want to see Brent Burns not here next season, I think it says a lot that we're treating these older players with respect and all
It
our players
does.
with respect. We treated Jordan Stahl with respect. We gave him the contract. He probably, I don't know if you think it's an overpayment or not, but the term was a little long for his age. But
Yeah,
that's
I
how we're
think it
treating
was.
these players, right? We're treating our older players and our veterans with respect. And if you're not willing, and we're treating our captain in leadership with respect, and the problem is, as much as everybody hates Jacob Trouba, he was the captain of the New York Rangers. You don't treat your captain that way. You don't say, we're going to waive your butt and let you get claimed by whoever unless you waive your no trade clause. And the Ducks would have had top choice of getting him for sure because they were toward the bottom of the league. I'm just telling you right now, that's a bad look. And the Rangers continued. It's bad look after bad look after bad look after bad look. I don't even know if this team makes the playoffs next year because they're going to have a lot of noise around them again. and it's not good noise.
No, it really isn't good noise. And this is also a team too, Sam, where they've gotten significantly older, especially with the recent trades that they've made this past season. Another thing too, Sam, and this is going to be the last thing I want to talk about with news around the league, but Neil Pionk signs a 6-year extension, $7 million per year, Sam, with the Winnipeg Jets. He's played very good with Winnipeg. Sam, he really has.
Yeah, it's been really good. And I think,
And he's a right-handed defenseman too,
to
so I
be
think that's
fair,
part of it.
the Jets have been really good this year.
They have.
For my Stanley Cup bracket that I made, that it's like what I think it's going to happen.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have the Jets winning the Stanley Cup.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they're so good. So I
Eh.
think they're going to break that president's curse and get it done.
As much as I hate Ranson, I'm probably gonna have Dallas win the Stanley Cup. But now, Sam, let's talk about the Hurricanes because we are a Hurricanes podcast, and the players that we called up before the Ottawa, or sorry, the Montreal game. I get both confused because they're both teams that are Canadian. But players that we brought up, Sam, Skylar Brindamore, Bradley Nadeau. I was happy to see that. Dominic Finsor, I believe. Hopefully, I didn't butcher his name. Riley Stillman, and that was it. So,
Yep.
Sam, we called up lots of players. Doesn't surprise, I believe, you and I because we knew something like this was going to come when it came to resting the top guys.
Yeah, well, we saw what happened to Jesper Foss last season.
Exactly.
And he's not even a top guy. It's just a real shame when stuff like that happens. And this is kind of what's ticking me off about the game we're going to talk about in a little bit, the Ottawa Senators game. And we'll see how mad I am when we record that game. Because as of recording this part, that game has not played yet. But the Ottawa Senators are playing their entire starting lineup tonight.
And I saw on the Hurricane, another thing too. I just saw this on the Hurricanes website. Anderson is playing.
I wouldn't do that either, but whatever.
I don't know why you would do that. I
Maybe make sure
really
he's the
don't.
goalie to go with, I guess, in game one.
Still, I do not like that. We all know his health history.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
my God,
if he gets hurt, we're
he
screwed
gets
because I don't
hurt.
trust Kochetkov. I think I'd start Tokarski or Spencer Martin.
I don't understand why you start Anderson. I really don't. But hopefully I'm wrong by the time the Ottawa game starts. But another thing too, Sam, is Nikishin I believe he's arrived here in North Carolina, hasn't he? Or at least he's on his way to North Carolina.
He's on his way. He's on his way to New York, and then from JFK he will get here.
Okay, all right. But that's going to be exciting, Sam. Now, I don't think we see him in the playoffs unless there's an injury. And I think if there is an injury on the blue line, I think he's the first player. I like Scott Morrow, but I think he is the first player to fill a spot if there's an injury on the blue line.
I agree.
Nikishin is just much more better than Scott Morrow. Much more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nikishin's better. I really liked Dominic Finsor. So I'm like, do I consider him over Morrow? Because I thought he looked really good against Montreal.
But
like, I was impressed.
It is just one game.
No, for sure. And we'll see what he does tonight
yeah.
against Ottawa. Ottawa's a tougher matchup. Which actually is starting now as we're talking.
Well, we'll get to the point where we'll eventually stop this and then go back to recording the rest of the episode. But regardless, Sam, another thing too is that the playoff schedule, again, it was released,
yes.
Sam, for the first round. So it's the Hurricanes versus the Devils. And Sam, I bet you just love that schedule, don't you?
Not particularly.
It's because of game 2, I know. But first game is Sunday, a weekend game.
Yep.
And what I liked about the time is it is a 3 p.m. game. So I'm like, oh, that's good. That is excellent. And
Yep.
another thing about playoffs too, we're going to go back to what we usually do, like we did last year, and we are going to record an episode after every game because each game is important.
Yes. Yes, and it's fun to talk about and it's good to interact. And maybe we'll do some lives here and there as well throughout the playoffs, other than our main one. Because it's the playoffs and it's special, and we reserve live for special occasions.
Yes, we do. And yeah, so Saturday 3 p.m. Sam, Tuesday at 6 p.m. That's the game I know you're most excited about. For those of you who don't know, I'm being very sarcastic, but that's going to be fun. And then there's 2 day break. Interesting, a 2 day break, Sam. And then we play Friday night, 8 p.m. And then we play Sunday, 3:30 p.m. So those are the first 4 games that are already scheduled. We don't know what's going to be after that. All we know is that it's going to be a Tuesday, Friday, and then another Sunday game, but we don't know what times yet
It's also
they
if
are.
needed.
Yeah, and if needed too, obviously. I think it goes to 6 games, but Sam, we'll talk about that a lot in our live stream that we'll be
Yes.
having.
And I have confirmed a guest.
Really? Who?
I have. We're going to get Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan will be
Oh,
joining
really? Oh,
between
okay.
noon and 12:30. So stay tuned. Tim Donnelly from 99 The Fan will be joining us. And he is an awesome guest. Always fun to talk to. So that's going to be absolutely exciting.
Yes, it definitely is. So, Sam, it's going to be hopefully we win this round because I do think we should win. But you know what? Let's go ahead, get to our sponsor, then we'll recap the 2 games here.
Sounds good.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high skates drama, clutch moments, and jaw dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Okay, Sam, the Montreal game. Now, I did not watch this game. I probably only watched probably a total of maybe 10, 15 minutes of this game. So I'm going to need you to kind of fill in on mostly the recap of this game.
Yeah, I mean, just I like to paint games that we lose with broad strokes. Like, what can you take from the game? Like, does it matter? First off, game didn't matter, right? At all.
No.
Your top guys were out: Slavin, Stahl, Jarvis, Aho, Blake. Right. Your best players did not play. So yeah, I mean, Carolina, I thought they looked really good to start the game. They looked like they were taking it to Montreal, a team that had their A game out because they needed to win to clinch a playoff spot. And Carolina, again, they did well, but not good enough. So Montreal gets on the board first. I believe they scored the first 2. And it was just kind of like, geez, this is kind of here we go again. I actually may have been 1-1 at one point, but I mean, you had some bright spots. I thought Bradley Nadeau looked really good. He looked very good on a power play. He did not score, but you see that glimpse of that future guy who's going to score 30 to 40 goals uh, in the NHL at one day, right? Like he's going to be good. He's clearly a skilled player, and he got his first NHL point against the Canadians, and I think that's excellent for him to do that. Kochetkov, I was not a big fan of that game. I didn't think he looked all that good. But that's been par for the course at this point. Uh, I said after the game, I don't trust Kochetkov in a playoff game. I think if I need emergency relief, I'm going to Spencer Martin or Dustin Tokarski. But overall, I thought, given the situation, given Montreal was fighting for their lives, I think that game could have been worse for the Hurricanes, given the roster we deployed versus the roster they deployed. So if I'm not talking goaltending, I thought Carolina's played admirably, given the roster difference in skill on the ice for us and skill on the ice for them. I thought KK looked good. I thought Svetch looked good. Um, and I think you can take that good out of the Montreal game and the Ottawa game, that you had two players look pretty good that need to look good going into the playoffs. The concern, goaltending. And that's a
Yeah,
concern again tonight.
yeah. Well, so I mean, the goaltending, yeah, it's been a struggle. But I mean, tonight against Ottawa, let's just go ahead and get to that because a lot's happened, and I think that there's more to take away. The reason why we're just going to go ahead to the Ottawa games because one, both of these games in general, like what you said, Sam, they're meaningless games. They just are. That's why we have healthy scratched so much of our best players. And another thing too, well, I guess that was it. But
Oh no, but again, the final result compared to what we had in like the, on the ice, I don't. It is what it is. The concern, I think you might even get a point, if not win that game, if you get a save, if you can get some saves from your goaltending. So I thought the lineup played well. It was the goaltending that cost you 2 goals. I think Kochetkov should have had, clearly should have had in that game, and
that's
it
what
was
I've heard is that there were
yeah,
2 goals he should have had.
2 goals Kochetkov should have had, did not, and it cost you the game, right? You could have spoiled Montreal's playoffs if your goaltending was good, and it wasn't good. Kochetkov was -2 goals saved above average, so that's what we were, again, the two that he needed to have. That was it. If he was just good, 0, right? Allowed what you should and didn't allow what you shouldn't, you win the hockey game. He didn't do that.
Yeah. Very, very frustrating performance from Kachekov. But the Ottawa game, Sam, I mean, this was some game. I'm telling you. And one thing that I don't know. Do you want to start to say it or me with the officiating?
Look, when you have 10 penalties, because I think this is right, 10 penalties for Carolina, 3 for Ottawa. The officials handed this game to Ottawa. Carolina had the parade to the penalty box when they were up 5-3. What do you think's going to happen when you take 10 penalties? No one's perfect. You're going to allow power play goals. You're going to get tired. It's hard to play on the penalty kill. Oh, but the penalty kill I thought was excellent tonight. They killed a 5-on-3 power play. That takes a lot to get that done. But it's hard to play. The Ottawa Senators, by the way, full lineup.
And
And
Montreal
the
had a full
officials.
lineup too.
Yeah. But we
So
didn't have to play the officiating against Montreal. The result
no.
was the result there. You had to play the officiating tonight, and the result was the result tonight. I don't think Freddie was very good. I think he made some good saves, but he was not very good. I thought
Well,
the defense was really, really bad tonight on Carolina. Morrow did not look good.
I was about to bring that up. The defense, because I did watch the Ottawa game with you. The defense I thought was worse than the performance of Anderson, and from what I saw. Wouldn't you agree there?
Yeah. No, it's
But it's not surprising because this is a team that has prospects out. Heck, Brent Burns, Sam. He only played the first period. That was it.
Yeah, but that's fine. Again, it's about keeping your guys healthy. Jost had a scare. Fortunately, he was fine.
Yeah.
I think he's replaceable, but he's fine. Uh, you just want to get out of this game healthy. Carolina did that. Now we're going to play the Devils on Sunday, and that's what matters.
Yes, that is what matters. But yeah, I 10 penalties. Like, good lord. 28 penalty minutes in total for the Hurricanes. Like, my gosh, I'm looking at the game stats. But Sam, one thing I do want to talk about, because same roster as the Montreal game, but there is a little bit more to take away, because you now have 2 games to go off of instead of just the one. And because of that, we got to see some good things. Sam, I'm happy that we got to see Skylar Brindamore score his first goal
Yes,
in the
that was pretty
NHL.
good for him. That was good for him. I'm happy to see a rookie get a first. That's always good. Good for the family. Always a fun thing to see that happen, especially given the situation. Your dad coaching you behind the bench is awesome. Um,
Do you call him dad or coach?
coach, got to call him coach. You want the
Yeah.
other players to tease you. Um, it was good. I was happy for him. Always good. Always great to see a guy get a goal. So he's uh good for the player. Um, Again, I thought the rookies in general played fine. I thought Morrow looked like a rookie tonight. That's the nicest way to put that. Looked like a rookie tonight, a rookie defenseman. Defensemen take time to develop. That's fine. I thought Finsor had some bad moments too. Again, rookie.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of
he
rookie
got a
errors.
whole, he's got a whole off season to really develop. I still believe Morrow should be on this lineup because I think you need to address. The reality is this team has so many good players that they really should outscore the defensive problems. So I think the wiser move here would be to load up on offense. If you don't believe in Morrow, my recommendation there would be trade him, put that with something, and go get some kind of elite talent, and then sign a defenseman.
Maybe. And I could see that, Sam, just because honestly, you look at this defense probably going into the offseason, you already probably have 2 guys that can run a power play on the back end, and that's not including Scott Morrow. You have Nikishin that I think probably can run a power play because of how good he can be,
Yeah,
and you have Shane Gostisbehere. So it does. I mean, it does make me wonder. I'm not saying he does. Scott Morrow doesn't make the roster,
yep.
but it does make, because he's that type of offensive type of player, and you already have. I mean, with Nikishkin, I don't know. You might be getting a little bit more of a 2-way type of defenseman with
Well,
Nikishin,
you're
but
getting
he's
a guy
still.
who can body someone off the puck. You're getting a guy who's got a mean streak. So he's physical and he can skate and he can play defense and he
And he
can
can
create
score.
dynamic offense. Yeah.
Yes.
You're getting, again, the all around package, right? I've consistently compared him to Cale Makar, and I've kind of seen some things where that might be an inaccurate comparison. I think maybe a more accurate comparison might be Victor Hedman, a guy
Yeah,
who can
maybe.
score, body off the puck, uh, throw his body around, a big dude,
Or
and
would
that's
you say a Shea Weber type of
yeah. He
defenseman?
might. I mean, hey,
Maybe.
if you're getting a Victor Hedman, Shea Weber kind of thing, Brent Burns, prime Brent Burns, I think you're in a good way, and I think that's the kind of player that he's going to be. And I think those are fair assumptions, right? Cale Makar is not overly physical,
No,
so
he's not.
I think comparing him to Cale Makar would be my mistake, which I apologize for. I think Shea Weber, Victor Hedman, a Brent Burns kind of defenseman, if you're bringing that into the lineup, right? A younger, can you imagine if we had Brent Burns back when he was in his 20s? I mean, that dude's excellent. So,
Oh,
he's
he
got,
is.
Nikishin's got Norris trophies in his future.
Yeah. I hope he does. But I mean, just the whole thing with Scott Morrow, if they do trade him, I wouldn't be disappointed because we already have that, I think, offensive talent on the blue
If
line.
Morrow staying here is I'm fine. I'm fine either way. I think Morrow is capable of playing in the NHL. I think he's going to have a whole offseason to get bigger, practice, get
And
ready
he
to
can
go.
get better. He's a young guy. He can
Yeah.
get better.
And I still think that's the cheapest way to go, is you add Morrow and Nikishin. And everyone hates the fact of Morrow playing with Slavin. I think that what could be better for his game than to play with Jacob Slavin. That's just my opinion, right? I think he can be as capable of a player there as Tony DeAngelo was for Carolina. And I say, and this is also, I'll say, if you move on from him, I bring Tony back because I think that makes a lot of sense. If you move on from Morrow, Tony would be a cheap option. Teams don't seem to like him, but Rod loves him. He played really well in Carolina, and
Yep.
he will have a place on the roster because he'll play with Slavin. And he played with Slavin before. He had his best career year with Jacob Slavin. So throw him up with Slavin again. I think that makes a lot of sense, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if you move on from Morrow, and I'm not opposed, again, moving on from Morrow, not the preferred path, but if you use him, if you were to package him with something for a huge piece, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah. And again, with you having two offensive defensemen, you guys got to see on YouTube a close up of Sam right there. But
Yes.
the addition
Sorry.
with
My
Nikishkin
knee's trying
and
to pop.
Ghost, yeah, that's fine. The both, I think. I mean, you want all the offense you can get, by the same time, not neglect your defensive responsibilities. I can see this team going after a right shut down defenseman
Sure.
type of role too. So
Yeah.
that's just
Look,
my whole take.
I think that's a need. So, I mean, you never know. It might be something you try to look at. I can't think of any that would be available in my current, like, just who's available right now mindset. But, I mean, you don't know what becomes available. So, just got to wait and see.
Yeah.
But, Sam, are you
Another.
ready for the playoffs?
I mean, I am ready for playoffs, but another thing too, Sam, and I think this is key for how long we go in the playoffs. But I thought this line did really good tonight against Ottawa, and that was the Svetch, Aho, KK line.
I thought they were good tonight. I thought they were good against Montreal, but I'll tell you right now, it's not going to matter if Anderson and Kochekov don't show up.
Yeah, that's my
Do I?
fear.
I think now. I think you can outscore the Devils, but you have to assume Jake Allen and Markstrom don't show up, and that's possible. You never know, and but again, we don't know, and we'll have a better idea game one, which is Sunday at 3:00. But
And I'm going. I'm so excited.
I think it's just a matter of it's really up to the goaltending. This team will only go as far as Kochekov and Anderson will take them. And it's mostly Anderson than Kochekov, but it will only go as far as those two guys take us. You can beat New Jersey. They are beatable. They do not have Jack Hughes. They do not have another one of their top defensemen. They are a beatable team. We've done it before. The roster was a little bit worse, but we did it before. That team is not much better than they were when we beat them last time. We can beat them again.
We can.
This
I
is a
do
team
think
we should
we
beat
can.
in 5 to 6 games. Get it done, but you need the goalies to show up. If they don't, you're going to need to outscore the problem. And this team isn't known for that. So you got to hope for a night where you can outscore your problems, which can happen, but it's got to, I don't want to rely on that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I think another thing too is, I mean, Canes are known for their tight defense. I mean, maybe you can try and make a stone wall around your goalies. So maybe that could be enough, but ultimately, yeah, we'll see. Sam's going to be fun, and also remember, we are having a live stream
Yep.
tomorrow when this episode releases. So we'll be going through
Oh,
a
well,
deep
no.
dive.
So we have a live stream Saturday, right? So I guess
Yeah,
that would be
so this
tomorrow.
releases tomorrow,
Tomorrow
Friday.
as releases. So Saturday, Sam and I will be joining the warning take tonight as this episode releases to give our
Yes.
season grades on the player. So if you want to see that, check the warning take. They're live on YouTube. We'll make sure we share the link and everything else. so you guys can watch it. But we will be there giving our season grades, and then we will do a playoff preview Saturday with
Yes.
VIP guest Tim Donnelly will join us, as well as I think as well as I believe members of the Warning Take and Caniac Session. So it'll be a fun time for everybody. We'll be on the air for about an hour max, but we will see what happens. It'll be a fun time.
Yes, it definitely will. So, Sam, last episode of the regular season. So,
Let's go for the
well,
playoffs. I'm ready.
yeah, I'm definitely am ready. So we will see you guys later.